Howdy, hi. This is Dear Job Sports, college basketball picks and predictions. Day 1, November 23rd, 2025. We're looking at the best bets of the day. Let's get into the video. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are back for another year of college basketball. It has been way too long on betting on sports that are simply incomprehensible to the college mind. Nothing is better than college basketball from a betting perspective and from a watching perspective. In what other world would you be taking South Carolina State to cover 33.5 against these Cardinals? No other world besides the world we're living in right now. Game 1, it should be no surprise as to who I am betting against for the first game of our season. Give me South Carolina State and these Bulldogs plus 33.5. Also going to take the over 156.5. I am not going to lie. Louisville Cardinals, they're going to be pretty good this year. As much as it pains me to say that, their roster is stacked. They spent a bajillion dollars in the transfer portal. I have depression. So, South Carolina State, they are in year 4 of Eric Martin. They're coming off of the best season maybe ever they've had as a program. They shared first place in the MEAC regular season with Norfolk State. They then lost in the championship game. They missed out on March Madness by 2 points. But I think they're ready to have a comeback season and get it going again. They do lose 4 starters, but they return a lot of bench production, a lot of guys who saw the 10 to 15 to 20 minutes a game kind of roles. And now they're going to step up into starters. They did also hit the portal. They grabbed some high-scoring JUCO guys to fill their backcourt. And in terms of their front court, they grabbed 2 guys who are 6'10 plus, which is really good going up against this Louisville Cardinals team who has quite a large front court. Louisville coming off of a 27-8 year. I would know that more than anyone as I bet against them literally every single conference game, and they took all of my money. They finished second place in the ACC right behind Duke. They only returned 2 starters from last year's season, but they bring in a lot of transfers. They got one guy from Xavier who's going to be really good. They got McNeely not McNeely. I think it was McNeely from Virginia, the one shooter who could really shoot the ball well. They have 2 top 75 ranked freshmen who are going to help this bench. They're going to be good. I'm not going to lie. They're going to be a solid team. But for game 1 of the year, I will have no other way than to fade Louisville. Give me South Carolina State. Give me over 156.5. All right, next game. So I mentioned the Louisville game will be the first bet I actually make this year. But in terms of the first game that will be played, it will be between Queens and Winthrop. I'm going to take Queens plus 5.5. This game tips off at 8 o'clock in the morning, Eastern Standard Time. You can wake up, drive to work, turn on the computer, and bang, you have NCAA basketball in front of your face. Neutral site game. It's at the Rock Hill Sports Center in South Carolina. Don't know where that is. Don't know what that is. Both of these teams are from the area. Queens from North Carolina. Winthrop from South Carolina. I don't really think either team is going to travel here. I mean, it's an 8 o'clock start during the school year. I don't see any fan base really getting out here, so it should be a pretty empty game. Queens, they are coached by Grant Leonard. This is his 4th year in the program. They return a bunch of production, 3 starters, that being their entire backcourt. Their point guard, shooting guard, and small forward are all back from last year's team. They were the main focus on scoring, and they're all upperclassmen now. It's 2 seniors and a junior. In terms of the front court, they hit the portal pretty hard. Grabbed up 2 pieces. They also grabbed some JUCO demons to help them from their bench. If their front court guys pan out, I think this team's going to be a really consideration to win their conference. They're going to need to step up here game 1, but I trust this backcourt, point guard, shooting guard, small forward, all returned. They were all really good last year. I see no reason why they can't cover this number and win on the shmoney line. Winthrop coming off of a 23-11 season under head coach Mark Prosser. They lost literally all of their starters from last season. All of them. They went bye-bye. I do not want to back a completely new roster in game 1 of the year at 8 in the morning. This team's going to be interesting. They hit the transfer portal hard. They also grabbed some JUCO guys. They got some mid-major guys to transfer in. I'm just not taking a completely new starting five at 8 a.m. in the morning on a neutral site court, laying 5.5. No thank you. Give me Queens. All right, next game we are headed to the Fog. We're going to take Kansas minus 28.5. I am shocked this line is not closer to minus 35. Minus 40 might even be a consideration. Green Bay, absolutely horrible. They have Doug Gottlieb as their coach. He is he's definitely one of the bottom 5 coaches in all of college basketball. He is more focused on running his podcast that he does full time than actually coaching his basketball team. Meanwhile, on the other side, you have Bill Self, who is the most winningest coach in the history of the Big 12. So, give me that guy. Green Bay, it is year 2 of Doug Gottlieb. I have no clue why they brought him back as a coach. Year 1, they went 4-28 the entire season. Their best player, Anthony Roy, decided to quit halfway through the year because he faked an injury because he hated his coach. He then transferred to Oklahoma State, where he is now a starter. Make that make sense. They do return 2 starters, but I'm not really sure you want to return anyone on a team that went 4-28. They hit the portal. They brought in a bunch of JUCO guys. They brought in a ton of freshmen, which is weird because if you bring in freshmen as a head coach, it would imply as though the university has faith in you to be there for the next few seasons. So I don't know what Green Bay is doing, but I don't like any of it. Kansas, coming off of a disappointing year for their standards, didn't win the Big 12, didn't really play well at all, but this year should be better. They no longer have Hunter Dickinson. They lost all of their problem guards who transferred in. I'm looking at you, AJ Story. They hit the portal, and they brought in some really good pieces. They also have the number 2 freshman in Darren Peterson. You could argue he's number 1. Bill Self has said multiple times this is the best freshman he has ever coached. Bill Self said that. He has had many guys come through Kansas, yet this dude is the number 1. He's going to be their point guard. He's 6'5", has a 6'11" wingspan. You are not getting by this guy on offense, and then he is going to cook you when you're on defense. They also brought in some other freshmen who are really good. And again, they hit the portal hard. It's Kansas. They have a bunch of money. They're going to bring in the best talent. They're going to be really good. I see no clue how Green Bay scores anything more than 50 points. Kansas should win this one 94-50. Next game, we're going ACC Pitt versus Horizon, Youngstown State. Give me Pittsburgh minus 14.5. I do like how this matchup is pretty regional. These 2 campuses are separated, according to Google, by roughly an hour and 15. I honestly thought it was closer. Pitt, I trust their transfers more than what Youngstown State was able to bring in. Bigger guys coming in from high major programs at previous stops for Pitt. Also, should be a pretty nice crowd for opening day. Pitt normally shows up for athletics, so we'll see if they do here. Youngstown State coming off of a 21-13 season with year 1 of head coach of Ethan Faulkner, so they are now going into year 2. They lost a ton of their starting production from the previous year. Majority of it was due to eligibility, not them transferring out. Youngstown State does normally have a really good basketball program. They are one of the best in the Horizon year after year, but I do not like what they did in the portal. They brought in a bunch of low mid-major guys. They brought in some JUCO guys. They're going to struggle with size down low. That was one of Youngstown State's biggest problems last year, was actually rebounding the basketball. Going against Pitt, Pitt's biggest emphasis in the transfer portal was bringing in monster guys down low so they can control the glass. These are going to be 2 different styles, and I will favor Pitt. Pittsburgh, they still have Jeff Capel as their coach, coming off of a pretty disappointing 17-15 season. Preseason, they were picked top 4 in the ACC, and then they just completely shit the bed down the stretch. Like I said, they bring in a bunch of big bodies down low to help the defensive presence. They also brought back in a backcourt from the portal who can really score at will. It's a bunch of 3-point shooters, all shoot over 37% from deep. They should have no problem with the Youngstown State smaller lineup. Also, Youngstown State really young. They only have 4 upperclassmen projected to play minutes. The rest are a youth movement. So I do like Pitt here, minus 14.5. I think they win closer to 20. Next game we got, it is Murray State on the road, neutral site game against Omaha. I'm going to take Omaha plus 4.5. I'm also going to rock the over of 149.5. This one's taking place in Sioux Falls, South Dakota, tipping off 1:30 Eastern. You can watch this game on YouTube for free. I did say this was technically a neutral site game, but I do think the Omaha fans will show up. They're actually a pretty passionate fan base. It is only 2 hours and 15 minutes from Omaha, Nebraska. Meanwhile, it is a 12-hour drive from Murray, Kentucky. I do not think any casual Murray fan is driving 12 hours to Sioux Falls, South Dakota. Murray State, they are entering a new era. This is first-time head coach ever, not just at Murray State. This will be his first time manning a team. Ryan Miller, he was an assistant under McDermott at Creighton last year. McDermott had a lot of guys leave his program from a coaching standpoint, go on to somewhere else, and they found a lot of success. So I have faith in this guy to get it done long term, but early on, I do not think so. He did bring 2 guys with him from Creighton. They were both big men who really didn't play that much, mostly because they were behind Ryan Kalkbrenner, who averaged like 33 minutes a game, defensive beast, really good on the boards. So it's tough to get many minutes. They hit the portal really hard. They grabbed a few guards who really can't shoot the ball. I mean, they picked up guys from University of Illinois Chicago. That guy shot 28% from deep last year. And then UC Santa Barbara, where their three-point specialist shot 34%. So you don't return a single starter. You're bringing in a bunch of guys from different programs, and it's your first time ever as a head coach. Also, away game at 1:30 Eastern on a Monday. No thank you. Omaha, they enter year 4 of Chris Crutchfield, coming off of a winning the Summit regular season and the tournament, and then getting the doors blown off them in March Madness, but that's okay. Who cares? You made it. They return 3 starters. They bring in some really nice portal gets to help them fill the spender spot. The center they got is actually really good, 6'11", 250 pounds. Dude's kind of a unit. I think they're going to look to get out here to an early start. I don't know why they're a dog. You have, in my opinion, the better coach. He has way more experience. You return 3 out of 5 starters. You got a really big center down low, and your bench also returns the majority of their minutes. Why are you a 4.5-point dog in what is realistically a home game? Give me Omaha. Give me the over. Next game we are going to fade Tom Izzo in his first home game of the year. Not sure this is the brightest idea, but I think it's a really good spot for Colgate. Give me Colgate plus 21. Tom Izzo is kind of known for scheduling pretty easy non-con opponents in terms of low majors. But when it comes to high majors and mid-majors, this dude knows how to schedule. Colgate has been an absolute factory in their previous seasons. They have won the Patriot League 6 out of 7 years. So I do give credit for Tom Izzo for scheduling Colgate. They are coming off of a pretty rough year from their standards, mostly due to injuries. They lost a ton of their guys in the middle of the season, and then they just kind of entered a downward trajectory, just like a plane crash into the ground, and they couldn't stop it. But this year, they're back, they're healthy. I think they're going to win the Patriot League. Literally, everyone thought this team was going to go dancing last year. They did not. They do return most of their production. 3 out of the 5 starters they had last year coming back, and they don't hit the portal. Colgate is a culture where you do not bring guys in. You recruit them as freshmen. You then build with them all the way through the program. You have them come off the bench freshman, sophomore year. They play, start, junior, senior year, and then they leave, graduate, they win some trophies, and they go home. I like Engel as a coach. He's fantastic. I think they're going to keep this game tight. I don't want to say money line sprinkle, but at plus 21, this money line has to be juicy. I would not mind a first half money line stab. I think they are live. Sparty, obviously they're really good with Tom Izzo as a coach. Coming off of a fantastic season, winning the Big Ten regular season, going 30-7. They return a decent amount of production, but then they also lose some as well. They lost 2 guys to eligibility, And then they lost Holloman transferring to NC State. It is not normally that you see guys transferring out of a Tom Izzo program, but when money be speaking, people be moving. They play the game slow. They're good defensively, really good on the glass. I think they win this game by, I don't know, give me Michigan State by 7 or 8. This is going to be close. Colgate will have a chance down late. Give me Colgate plus 21. All right, finally, we have our last game and then my almost bets. But before both of those things, I'm going to mention to you the sponsor of this video, Overtime. They're a crypto book you can play from anywhere at any time. We are doing a giveaway to start off the college basketball season. $100 giveaway for 4 people who sign up and wager any amount. Link is in the description below. You just have to wager any. You can deposit $10, wager $10, and bang, enter it into the giveaway. Also, if you deposit $10, wager it, you get $20 in free bets. So head over there. Link is in the description below. Crypto Sportsbook. Play from anywhere, anytime. All right, now we get on to the game. Quinnipiac. If you do not recognize that logo, I do not blame you. If you continue watching my videos, you will bet on some teams or against some teams that I guarantee you have never heard of in your life. Ever. I'm going to take St. John's minus 27.5. I think this line should be way larger. I make this 36.5. I'm getting nearly 10 points of value. Yes, please. Quinnipiac, they enter year 3 of Tom Pecora. Last year, they went 20-13. Unfortunately for them, they lost basically their entire team. They lose 4 out of 5 starters, and they really didn't hit the portal. Them, much like Colgate, is a program that tries to build from within. Last year, they had a lot of freshmen coming off the bench. Those freshmen are now going to be sophomores, and some of them are going to be starting. I do not think starting a bunch of young players with little experience is going to go well against Slick Rick Pitino and St. John's. St. John's coming off of a fantastic season where they went 31-5. If I remember correctly, they won the Big East. Then they got knocked out in the round of 32 against Arkansas and John Calamari, mostly because nobody on their team could make a shot. I'm looking at you, RJ Lewis. You suck. St. John's, they lose 4 out of 5 starters, which would sound bad, seeing as though they went 31-5 last season. But let me tell you, this team they have this year is leaps and bounds better than the team they had last year. They got some crazy guys in the portal. First, Bryce Hopkins, the dude from Providence, started his career at Kentucky, Providence for 3 years, 5th-year grad senior, comes in, he's going to man the powered forward spot. Then you have Ian Jackson, the sophomore from UNC. This dude is a monster. I have no clue how he was able to leave Chapel Hill, but he did. Now he's playing for Slick Rick. He's going to be your 2 guard. Or, no, probably a 3 guard. Then you have Dylan Mitchell. He started his career at Texas for 2 years, went to Cincinnati for a year, said, nah, I'm done with all this. I want to go to a program that wins. I'm going to go to Slick Rick at St. John's. He's going to be your shooting guard. Then you have Oziah Sellers, one of the best guys in the ACC last season, from the west coast of Stanford. He said, nope, I'm tired of losing 2. Let me go to the East Coast. He comes in. He's going to be your point guard. The only starter they return down low, it was Zuby Ejiofor, 6'9", 240-pound center. And that is just a tad bit undersized for the Big East. So they went out in the portal, grabbed 6'11", 260-pound Weber State transfer center, and that's going to be your main 6 guys that play. They also loaded up with some mid-major guys to help off the bench with 3-point shooting. This team is loaded with talent. I would take this, I am not kidding, probably to minus 40. If you can ladder this somehow, do it. St. John's to the moon. All right, and then finally, we have our 3 almost bets. So these are games I liked but didn't like enough to actually throw money on. All right, first one, it was Michigan minus 23.5 at home to Oakland. Michigan, a team who hit the portal really hard. They bring in Yaxel Lindenberg from USF. The only thing that scares me is Campy and this Oakland team. This is the same program that knocked off Kentucky in March Madness, what was that, 2 years ago? So that was kind of concerning. Campy's a really good coach. I'm still not 100% sold on Dusty May in Michigan, so I will not take the 23.5, but I was tempted. Next one, Lipscomb plus 25.5 at Vandy. Lipscomb's been one of the great mid-majors in the last 10 years. Vanderbilt had a good year last year, but they would have to prove it to me 2 years in a row that they can be legit. So I'd take a Lipscomb plus 25.5. Finally, Tennessee minus 26.5. Excuse me. They are regular season demons. Rick Barnes doesn't do much in March, but in terms of actually getting it done in non-con and then in conference play, Tennessee is always fantastic. So I would be tempted to lay 26.5, but I'd have to see it. A lot of guys left the Tennessee program due to eligibility or transferring out. So I like 26.5, but not enough to put my money on it. All right, that is going to do it for me in this video. Reminder, if you want overtime, hit the link in the description. All you got to do, bet $10, get $20 in free bets, and you are entered into the $100 giveaway. All right, I appreciate you guys tuning in and watching, and I will catch you in the next one. Peace.